Second case study of a strategic project will come from Esther Sperber. Esther is a New York City architect, founded Studio ST Architects in 2003. With a previous work with the firm of IM Pei. Esther writes and lectures on both architecture and psychoanalysis, and she's going to talk about a project in New York City at the Hudson Yards involving a synagogue. Esther?
Thank you, and thanks for including me in this interesting conference. I think what I'm going to talk about lies on the footsteps of what we've heard from other people, but maybe also takes it in a slightly different direction. From ancient times, the greatest cities are engaging because they consist of layers of history, including buildings from different times, styles, industries, used by diverse populations. Religious buildings throughout New York City were constructed as centers for communal life decades ago. Over time, some of these communities moved to other areas, leaving the buildings behind. Another problem is that these buildings, as we've heard, often don't satisfy the needs of a contemporary user. They're typically not ADA accessible, not energy efficient, and many of them have been designed for a different type of service, more formal and hierarchical, and conflict with the more egalitarian and participatory styles of current congregations. Communities that own these old churches, mosques, temples, synagogues often are saddled with large maintenance expenses for outdated systems. And as you know, they are often very poor in cash, but own these valuable real estate parcels. My firm, Studio ST Architects, was asked by the Hudson Yards Synagogue to evaluate their building and the adjacent parking lot that they own. This congregation, you can see the building, was founded in 1890, and their current building, which is in the valuable Midtown of Manhattan on 34th Street, was constructed in 1925. We have recently been involved in 2 large renovations of synagogues and agree with many of the speakers that keeping these buildings is important for their congregation and for their historic, religious, and cultural heritage. However, after studying the possibilities of renovating this particular old building, we concluded that even with a very large budget, the estimates came in at over $20 million. The building would not meet the current codes and the needs of this congregation. But yet this congregation felt very strongly about staying in this location and not moving to a different, more residential neighborhood. We were interested in using this project to address the Hudson Yards Synagogue's particular needs and to develop a kind of case study for other religious institutions which have similarly antiquated buildings. Our proposal was a new hybrid building typology, which we called a SynaCondo, a mixed-use building housing both the synagogue and residential condo. Developers would obviously be interested in the opportunity of building in this most profitable area of the city, while the synagogue would receive new space and a real endowment fund to help them into the future. Our proposal had 2 entrances on the street level, one for the SynaCondo, which is the wood-looking one on the left, and another one for the residential condo. From the street, we were hoping that the synagogue would appear as a glowing, warm wood structure emanating from the solid gray stone condominium. Upon entering the SynaCondo, the synagogue space, the visitor would be welcomed by the serene view of the rear garden and the intimate daily chapel on the right. A generous curved wood stair would lead you down to the lower level where we housed the sanctuary, social hall, and other adjacent rooms. The education center and offices were located on the 2nd floor. In order to bring in daylight to the sanctuary, we created a landscape garden in the required rear yard, a series of skylights and reflecting pools, which you can see on the top left, bring in filtered light to the sanctuary below, creating a connection between earth and sky and the daytime and seasons. We believe that the synergy between the residential tower and the synagogue would extend beyond the financial advantage to both parties. The synagogue may draw potential tenants and provide convenient amenities such as we heard of daycares and meeting rooms. As houses of worship age and attendance sometimes dwindle, the SynaCondo is a potential solution. It is an opportunity to undertake the housing shortage, potentially for affordable housing, as well as transforming a place of worship. Thank you.